Welcome to a new film scoring tips video. Today I'm going to show you my workflow and in particular the technical aspects behind it. I think that this will be very useful for you as it might give you ideas on how to improve your own workflow and how to speed up those operations that otherwise could take your inspiration away. My system is made of 3 layers mainly. The first one is my DAW, Digital Performer. I am quite fond of DP as it has powerful film scoring tools and at the same time it is customizable once you know your way around it. The second layer is Vienna Ensemble Pro. That's where all my virtual instruments are loaded and where they are all blended together thanks to the powerful mirror. Layer 3 is a touch interface that I created using Lemur on my iPad. When I started this project, my main aim was to reduce the need to reach for the computer every now and then when looking for specific functions. I think that wasting time searching menus and submenus resulted now and then in my musical ideas slipping away. So the way I achieved that was by creating a touch interface that I could operate from my iPad and from which I could recall all the main functions and operations that I usually use in my workflow. This is why I called this system Composer Bridge. Now I'm going to show you some of the main functions of Composer Bridge, but at the same time I'm going to try to keep the video on the short side. If there is a particular section of what I'm going to show you today that you would like me to cover more in depth, or if there are questions that you might have about things that I don't cover, please do let me know in the comments, because I might create additional content around it. The whole system is based on a one instrument per MIDI track philosophy. That means that you won't see multiple tracks per any single instrument, each one containing a different articulation. All articulations are recallable within that one MIDI track through program changes, which is, in my opinion, a much better and more elegant solution than key switches. By giving a quick look at Vienna Ensemble Pro, you can notice that I have a very large template in place. I had to prepare it, it takes some time, but it is a very rewarding process once finished. Now all my instruments coming from different manufacturers sit together beautifully and they sound very organic and coming from the same space thanks to Vienna Mirror. Thanks to the flexibility of Mirror, I'm also able to export each individual instrument separately, either on dry or wet in terms of reverb, and I don't even need to enable or disable the reverb on Mirror. The outputs are constantly being fed through DP inputs, and so it's just a matter of record enabling the right tracks and hitting the record button. You will also notice that the section export tracks feature long notes and short notes. These again are constantly being fed through DP inputs, and I can, anytime I want, export only the long notes or short notes of a particular section. And again, I can choose dry or wet. And now on my iPad, you can see the graphical layout that I designed for Composer Bridge. Here I can select any instrument that I want to play. It will automatically arm the relative track on Digital Performer, as well as opening the related MIDI editor window in front of my eyes. Both functionalities can be disabled if needed. Each instrument will have slightly different control windows based on what the instrument can or can't do. Thanks to the articulation grid on the left, I can very easily change articulation on the go, and the various sliders will allow me to control the different parameters of an instrument very quickly and right in front of me. A snapshot button allows me to print a particular parameters configuration once the instrument sounds just like I want it in any particular moment. And a reset button allows me to have the same sound every time I start a new project. Some instruments also feature a load-unload button. What it does is enabling or disabling the relative instrument in Vienna Ensemble Pro. I only use these for those instruments that are less common in my orchestrations. One of the most important functions I wanted to implement in Composer Bridge is bidirectionality in automation, meaning that I can now record my MIDI controllers, but I can also see them move as I press the playback button. This gives me an amazing control over my performances and allows me to immediately see what goes on in a particular instrument if something sounds weird. All instruments are independent, and selecting a different instrument while playing back will show the relative MIDI controller performance. The counter on the top left part of the screen is synced with Digital Performer. Not only that, but tapping on it will open a numeric keypad where I can input a new time position. And if I'm not happy working with measure time, I can change it to frame time or real time at any time I'd like. The same numeric keypad automatically opens with different functions within Composer Bridge. This is very handy when changing things like a group of notes velocities. All the main DAW playback functions are there: play, stop, record, forward, backwards, etc. And they use the OSC protocol to be very reliable and work in any condition independently from MIDI and keystrokes. Some of the quick tools on the bottom right side of the interface, as well as many other tools in Composer Bridge, are possible thanks to another very useful software, Keyboard Maestro. Keyboard Maestro allows the creation of macros that are triggerable with the stroke of a single button and generate a series of steps. For instance, if I am not happy with the performance I'm recording on a particular instrument, I don't have to press stop, undo, go back to the starting point and record once again. I just press the nope button and it does it all for me very fastly. This saves me time, but also ensures that I can concentrate on the performance at all times. What is great about Limmer is that it allows you to create subsections. Hitting the plus side on the left of the interface will open a new section with lots of functions. One of my favorites is the tap tempo, where I can tap a tempo that I have in mind and send to DP. This will insert the previously tapped tempo in the conductor track of Digital Performer, right where the counter is in that particular moment. Not only I can recall general editing windows such as quantise, but thanks to the fact that DP allows you to automate previously saved presets in editing functions, I can now have a sub-window such as quantise options. Navigating a project is a very fast matter now, thanks to the markers operation. I can easily create new markers and go to any marker I want, or very quickly to marker 1, 2 or 3. Composer Bridge extends beyond MIDI. I can set the video I'm working on to full screen, recall different window sets, or change topmost software on my computer. The Gizmos section is now under construction. Some of the useful interfaces that I'd like to implement here are a piano keyboard, a QWERTY keyboard, and especially a device to easily program harp glissandos. I really hope you enjoyed this little tour of Composer Bridge. And if you did, let me know, it would make me very proud. Also, if you're wondering whether or not I will distribute some of the templates and the tech that I've showed you today, The answer is I don't know. I might, if I see enough interest around it. So in case you are interested, do let me know in the comment sections. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you soon.